I get a lot of questions about my fitness routine, and people often assume because I have muscle and I'm pretty fit looking that I spend hours in the gym, and that is 100% not the case. While I have no hate on people that like to go to gyms, I personally hate gyms. I do not like the cardio equipment. I don't actually touch weights anymore. I haven't touched weights in years. And just the environment of it is kind of ick to me. I would rather do my own thing in my home and also just be out in nature as much as possible. So when I am doing cardio, it's either a power walk or a hike out in the mountains, which I love to do, or walking the beach. And then as far as muscle training, I really actually just do, it's called calisthenics. It's a hard word to say, but it's really all my exercises just use my own body weight. I was a professional athlete prior to this, so I do have a stronger base of muscle, but I haven't been a professional athlete for many years now, and I haven't touched weights in probably at least 10 years, maybe longer than that. I think at this point, maybe even like 12, 15 years. But I still have quite a bit of muscle, and that is from these exercises that I'm doing. What I'm about to show you is nothing revolutionary, nothing new or exciting. I'm sure there are even exercises you've probably done. I'm not claiming intellectual property to, this is my Explorevore's workout routine and I will sue you if you copy these exercises. No. These are basic squats and ab exercises. I predominantly don't do too many arm things because I work as a bartender now, so I am shaking drinks all week and my job is already very physical, so I don't feel like I need to do much to my upper body, but I do have some things in there still to work on upper body strength. This is predominantly to keep the lower body and the booty in check and strong and functionally fit, as well as the core. For me, as a synchronized swimmer and a dancer, core is everything. Every single move that we are trained to do emulates from the core, and your whole body is really connected. So even these exercises, they may seem like they're isolation exercises, they're really not, because I'm tuning into my entire body. And even if it's something as simple as a squat, my abs are in, my arms are engaged, my shoulders are down and out of my ears. I'm using my lats to pull down my posture and keep my back engaged. My bum is squeezed, my quads are squeezed, my hamstrings and calves are engaged. So that squat is really an entire body exercise. Similarly, if I'm holding a plank, my arms are engaged, my stomach is into my spine, my bum and my legs are squeezed, my neck is stretched long. So a plank really isn't just an ab or an arm exercise, it is the entire body. And you'll see I do some extension type crunches too. That is going to be using the tension of my legs and using my breath to push the abdominals into the spine. You could do sit-ups all day, but if you're not having body awareness with how you are doing them, they will do absolutely nothing for you or even cause harm. For example, if you just kind of mindlessly crunch your body up and hold your breath while you're doing it, you're going to push your tummy out, which is going to develop the abdominals in an outward shape, giving sort of that pot belly look that no one really is a fan of if they're trying to do ab exercises. But more importantly, it's developing the muscle away from the spine and away from the organ tissue, which it is actually designed to protect. So the closer it is into your spine, the closer you're going to have to protecting your vital organs and your spine, which can degenerate as you get older. But if you maintain that core strength, you're going to avoid a lot of those throwing my back out episodes that can be very painful and sometimes even dangerous. So anytime you see me going to crunch my body up, whatever the position is, I am always exhaling on a crunch up and bracing the abs into the spine. If anyone's ever done yoga or Pilates, it's the exact same principle. Using your breath, almost bracing as if you're feeling like someone's going to punch you, which hopefully not too many people have been punched in the stomach, but maybe when you were younger, you had a jerky older brother and you have been, but just if you can imagine that feeling. So when you're going up, you want to hollow out that body, concave the stomach, push the belly button into the spine as far as you can go, and use your breath to be able to help you do that. And if you, wherever your legs are or your arms are, thinking about engaging those muscles as well. So every single exercise I am doing here is really a full body exercise. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the sequence. What I do is every single exercise is 1 minute. I use an awesome app called Intensity. Not sponsored, I just love the app. I've used it for, I think, almost 15 years now. You put your favorite playlist in there, some Pump the Jam music, whatever gets you going, and it will just randomly start at any point in the song, so it's kind of fun. And it will just play it for a minute, and at the last 5 seconds, it gives a boop, 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 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 countdown. I'm sure maybe some of you have even used this before. It's been around forever. Gives you a little countdown, so you are ready to jump into the next exercise. I do not take a break in between any of these exercises. Again, with weights, or without using weights, there is much less opportunity to injure yourself or go too far outside of your limits that are healthy for that day. I just go from one exercise to the next, and so that way it gives a circuit style training as well. So I'm getting the strength in it, but also some cardiovascular work because it's just one into the next, so the heart rate is going to get flowing. And you want to challenge yourself to hold all of these exercises throughout the whole minute. So I'm going to show you what this sequence looks like, and I'll drop in a little hints for as far as execution of them. I won't do the whole minute for the sake of keeping this video a little shorter and not boring you to death just staring at me do it for a minute. I'll do it enough so you get the sense of what the exercise is. Again, they're all super simple, and then you can try it on your own doing each exercise for a minute. Okay, so without further ado, I will show you these exercises. Let's go.
First exercise, simple alternating crunch. Twist that right elbow to the left knee and then vice versa, and then come up for a double crunch. Again, concaving that belly button to your spine as much as possible. Use that breath to hollow out the tummy each time you come up. When you do come down to the mat, don't collapse the body. Keep everything engaged the entire time. There should be no resting point throughout any of these exercises. One thing to bear in mind is my hands are lightly behind my head, but I am not yanking on my neck. I'm relying on the strength of my core to lift myself up. Only go as far as your core has the strength to lift you. Do not pull on your neck. Right after that, after the beep goes to the next minute, I jump up for my squat set. Feet are slightly more than shoulder width apart, toes turned out to a 45-degree angle. Make sure those knees stay in alignment with the angle of your toes. Do not let them twist inwards to each other. That will cause injury. Also, keep the spine as flat as possible. Keep those abdominals engaged. I will do 10 squats, and then at the bottom, I hold and pulse for 10, again, keeping every single muscle in my body engaged. After 10 pulses, I step out to a sumo style squat, and I will hold the rest of the minute, unflinching, trying to keep a 90-degree angles with my thighs parallel to the ground. Next, I will jump into a simple plank exercises on my elbows, trying to keep those arms at a 90-degree angles, shoulders out of my ear, stomach engaged, belly button into the spine, spine as flat as possible, pulling those legs out to the side in an externally rotated position and using that breath to kink in the side, working those obliques, exhaling every time I pull the knee up. Keep the line as flat as possible, engage that bum, engage the legs, and you are looking for a straight line. Next, I will bounce back into my squat set. After every single ab set, it will be the same squat set. So it's just 10 regular squats. And on the bottom of the 10th one, you do 10 pulses. And then after that, step out to that large sumo squat. Keep the abdominals engaged. Keep the body as straight up as possible. Be using your breath. Squeeze on the way down and squeeze to the bottom of that butt on the way up. On this hold, try to keep that 90-degree angle with your thighs parallel to the ground. This is a great meditation. The body is going to say, I'm tired, I want to stop, but it is a good opportunity to calm your mind and push through. From here, I go into double crunch. This happens in 2 parts using a double exhale. You'll see from the back, I go 1, 2, and down. 1, 2, and down, using an extra forceful exhale to get that belly button to the spine. Notice that neither my hands nor my feet touch the ground the entire exercise. This is intentional. If you just lay on the ground, you're going to collapse and disengage your muscles, and it's going to be a lot harder to keep those feet and hands off the ground, so it is an extra challenge. Again, this is a head to toe exercise. and straight back into another squat set. Again, it's the same as before. One thing you'll notice, I'm not really jamming out my knees to lock out at the top. This is so I can give an extra squeeze in the muscle right at the bottom of my glutes that connects to my upper thigh. I call this the butt-thigh. It's really where just the thigh meets the butt. I got a lot of booty. I know there's girls out there with booty, and if you want to keep it in check, it's a tough area that can get sort of jelly sometimes. When you do your squat like that and put your awareness on the muscle to really squeeze in that area, when you don't lock out the knee, that can super target that at the top. So that is how I choose to do it. Going into the next exercise, probably most of you have done a bicycle before, but this is a little bit of a twist. Similar to the one before, you'll notice that my feet never touch the ground, neither does my head. My core is engaged to be keeping those shoulders lifted. Again, I'm not yanking on my neck. I am using the strength of my core to curl that body up, using an exhale as I twist each alternating right arm to left knee and vice versa. And again, challenge yourself to not let those feet collapse and rest on the floor the entire exercise. It is going to be much harder that way and a much stronger exercise. Again, on these squats, it's not just for one singular muscle. My calves are engaged, my quads, my hamstrings, the thigh muscle. My core is in. I'm keeping my body as straight as possible, and I hold my arms out there to engage them. Do not put your hands on your hips to brace yourself, as that is just going to cheat you. Focus on your breath as you do this hold. The later you get into the set, it will become more challenging as you become tired. It's a great opportunity though to calm your mind and tune in. Okay, this next one is total 80s workout video vibes, but it exists for a reason. Again, this is really to target the bum, but also I am still, as I do that extension, rather than pushing my abs out, I am squeezing in on that exhale as I push up to get the belly button into the spine. This targets that same muscle right at the bottom of the bum, top of the hamstring, but it is also engaging my hamstrings and my calves as I am pushing up as well. Again, doing that exhale as you push through. And yes, shout out to Richard Simmons. From here, we come into the fifth and final squat exercise. Again, really squeezing that bottom of the bum on the way up, being aware that your knees are not buckling in and staying on the same angle of those toes, using your breath, keeping that core engaged, keeping that body up. When you do these bounces, feel like you're pressing down into the ground. That's going to engage the muscle more. And for a fun challenge, I always lift my heels on this last hold as the body is tired, but it's a good opportunity to push through for mental and physical strength gains. From here, I go straight into some oblique side bends, using that exhale as you curl to the side. You don't want to just collapse the body over long, as you are not going to be engaging the muscle. Feel like you're curling it over, almost making a taco shell type shape. You can play around with flexing your feet if that helps you engage your quads more. Not everyone can point their feet. That is not necessary for the success of this exercise. The point is just engage your legs. So again, it is a total body exercise. And from here, coming into divers, using a big exhale and curling that stomach in. If this hurts your neck, a little trick is if you put your tongue on the roof of your mouth, that actually teaches the front muscles in your neck to engage. And again, notice that my legs are fully engaged, stretching long, hamstrings tight, knees pushed through, ankles stretched, toes if you can. While this next one may look like I am either trying to fly and or casting some kind of spell, it is neither. It's really just squeezing my triceps. You could stick your arms behind you and do absolutely nothing, but if you tune in and put your awareness on the tricep as you are locking that elbow through and pretend like you're trying to push a wall back behind you, that is going to engage the muscle and strengthen it without having to use any weights. And for the very last exercise, run straight to a wall and come into a wall sit. You want your legs at a 90-degree angle with your ankles directly underneath your knees and your thighs parallel to the ground. Have your hands can be down by your side or out in front of you, but not bracing on your thighs or your hips, as that is cheating. You want to rely on your core being into your spine and the strength of your legs. This is as much a mental flex as it is a physical one, because it's at the end and you are tired and your body's going to want to give up. Your mind is going to push you with all sorts of negative thoughts, and it is a great way to meditate and say, no, I can do this, and push through.
All right, those are the exercises. Again, remember, I did a shortened version just to make this video a little shorter, but each exercise is a minute. Why I do the squats after the first 10 and then go into just those last 3 little exercises is just totally arbitrary. I initially started with the 5 ab exercises and the 5 squat holds after that, but then those other 3 exercises I wanted to tack on. As a bonus, the wall sit I actually do for 2 minutes. You might not be able to do that yet, but challenge yourself. The worst that can happen, if you're scared of sliding and falling down, you can put some cushion underneath, but you're really just, if you slip, you'll just land in a little squat, it'll be fine. But that one I do hold for 2 minutes as sort of just a last little push of the exercise, but everything else is 1 minute. As far as how often I do this, it is twice a week. I'll usually do it on like a Tuesday and a Friday, or a Monday or a Thursday, depending on what my days off are. My 2 days off from work, I don't like to do hard workouts at all, actually. I like to just rest or go for walks on those days. And then, so I'll be doing this on like my Monday or my Friday, if you will. And beyond that, as far as cardio I walk or I do power hikes in the mountains. I do not run. My job is very physical. So for those of you out there that have a sedentary job where you're sitting at a desk or in an office all day, you might want to add more physical movement, but I'm a big believer in the power of just walking. There are so many cultures around the world that they don't go to gyms. The gym culture is very much an American thing. Other countries in the world, especially lesser developed nations where they don't necessarily have the luxury of going to a gym or spending time to do that, they have physical labor jobs and they just walk everywhere. So if you don't have a physical labor job and or don't want to get one, walk as much as you can, or ride a bike, just moving your body gently. You do not have to go crazy, you know, crushing the treadmill or the Stairmaster, unless that like really gets you pumped up and you love doing it. Like, cool, if it feels good, great. But the idea that you need to suffer for hours in the gym is incorrect in my opinion. Again, if you're wanting to do like professional bodybuilding and go for that aesthetic, yeah, you have to do some certain things with weights, but I personally do not want more muscle than I have. I feel like I have enough. And for all those haters out there that say you can't build muscle or maintain muscle on a vegan diet, well, I beg to differ. I haven't had meat in 30 years and I think I have plenty of muscle. So, but that's another video. But again, it really comes down to just moving your body as much as you can. And I think hours and hours in the gym can actually be damaging. It can, one, just pump you full of cortisol and stress and burn you out and tire you out and cause injury when most people are already so stressed out in general in their life. So doing simple exercises like this at home, one, it's free at home without using crazy weights or bands that can push yourself outside of a limit that, especially when, you know, I have acute body awareness because I was a professional athlete. Not everyone has that. When you throw in weights, you can kind of push yourself too much, but these exercises are very friendly on the body and will give you functional strength without pushing yourself to the point of injury or exhaustion. So go ahead and try these. Let me know what you think. Again, I did not invent any of these. They are just simple exercises I enjoy doing that feel good on my body and maintain my strength and toning where I want it to be. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.